For Nollywood, the technical aspect, let me look at the technical first, and I look at the artistic part, the actors and the rest. For the technical part, I think we still have a lot to do in specific areas, as a matter of fact. Cinematography, for instance, you can pick the numbers straight up, how many you could call cinematographers in Nigeria, though we have tons and tons of people who claim that. That you have as a problem. Then you go into sound. That's another area that I think that you hardly have people who've invested enough in sound. I'll give you an idea. When I did work placement at BBC 3 at the West Midlands, Pebble Mill, they took me, the first day I got there, they took me into the sound studio. The sound mixer was very wide and large, and you can imagine that they had two people working on this sound, a lady and a guy. It looked like they were a boyfriend and girlfriend playing. It was just fun because the way they were swiveling on those chairs, moving, and then the equipment was just running up and down. It blew my mind. And I remember when they told me that, wait, we want to show you something great here. And that was just sound. And I think just that mixer was approximately 50 or 60,000 pounds. That's just for a mixer. And that's just for one station. And there are many other stations of BBC. So you can begin to understand where the problem comes in now. I came back to Nigeria. When you see a sound studio, it's just one little box and all that. Yes, sometimes you need you could use your little things to make, but dude, let's call it spade a spade. If a manufacturer makes an equipment that costs you $100,000 and you want to achieve the same with a $5,000 equipment, you think it's possible? We know sometimes you're as good as the person, but then again, imagine that person now being given that kind of equipment and you being given your $5,000 equipment when you don't have the same expertise. There is always a disparity. So, and then that also comes to training. Most of the people in the industry don't want to get trained in specific areas. Everybody wants to be a director. Everyone wants to be a producer. Everyone wants to bear that big name of, I'm the cinematographer and the rest. What happened to being a production manager? What happened to you being just a production assistant and doing a good job at it? A focus puller. That particular area, take the focus puller for instance. He or she is so important to the production that for every shot that is taken, if it's not well focused, it's out of shot, out of focus, and it looks poor and amateurish. Yet, people don't realize that they're very important from the roles they're playing. You just want to be a director, you just want to be a producer and all that. That's where the problem is. Many people are not learning those parts. So maybe we should start setting up training for such areas in the industry. Then moving into acting, for instance. Our actors, I think, if you ask me personally, there's so many people there who are claiming to be actors, but amongst the core ones, truly they can handle their roles even in Hollywood. What do I mean? When I want to shoot a film, I headhunt. Because I've noticed that most times when you call for audition, thousands of people come and you spend the whole day, maybe 2-3 days, and you can't find what you want. Because everyone just claims, I want to be an actor. Not because they have the desire for it, but because they think this is a quick way to being successful and popular. If you're going into acting because you want to be popular, then you lost the point. But if you're going into it because you actually love that craft, then you're on point. And that's why I know, if you look at most top directors around the world, they have a group of actors that work with them. They always pick in them. Why are they doing that? I do the same thing as well. Not because those other actors don't act well, but because you have a working relationship with these people. Here you are on a set, you're working with someone, the person leaves without even telling you, disappears from set. And then a whole production is brought down to a standstill. How's that going to work? Sometimes you call the person, they say, I'm on my way. The person is in Ghana and you're shooting in Nigeria. So how are you going to get that going? So those relationships too are a problem. So it's not just knowing how to act that's a problem here in the industry, but having the right attitude, which is a big, big problem. And that attitude, as a matter of fact, just before you cut it, let me point out the biggest problem in the attitude, the desire for money. You don't have to make 20 films at the same time. Pick one that is good and do it. Because if you're doing 20 films at the same time, when you're jumping from one set as Adeswa, if that's your role as Adeswa here, you go to the next film, you're John, you confuse it. Now, calling the girl Adeswa there, sorry I had to call her, but because I sent to her manager once that, look, she's always on point when every time I'm setting my camera, it looks like she knows where she's going to. And there are actors like that around. You look at Daniel K. Daniel, Sambasa, Tokwe, Linda, and the rest. they make it easy for me. And that's why I like working with them.